player deciding not to make it can destroy years of work. Over the last 5 tournaments, we've seen 5 attacks where the obvious teammate was ignored. Some teams escaped, others never recovered, but one decision was more painful than all the rest. We start with this 2026 World Cup, where Norway's quarter-final against England made an entire country shout at the screen. Norway were leading 1-0. They'd already knocked out Brazil, they had England wobbling, and they were less than half an hour away from reaching the World Cup semi-finals for the first time. Then came the break. England pushed forward, Norway won the ball, and suddenly Alexander Sørloth was charging through the middle with Erling Haaland sprinting beside him. 2 attackers, 1 defender. The pass looked simple, release it early and Haaland is through. Norway could go 2-0 up, England would need 2 goals just to get even. But Sørloth kept the ball. He drove forward, waited and eventually shot. Haaland threw out his arms. The Norwegian bench reacted instantly. Everyone understood what had just happened. Norway were protecting the biggest result in their history, with the world's most feared striker running into space. Instead, England survived. Jude Bellingham equalised, then scored again in extra time. Norway lost 2-1, and Sørloth's decision became the image fans could not stop replaying. To be fair, Sørloth later argued that Stones had closed the passing lane. Maybe that is exactly what he saw, but the replay leaves one brutal question. Why did he not pass earlier, before Stones recovered? Haaland had room. One extra touch changed everything. The abuse directed at Sørloth afterwards was disgusting. No football mistake ever justifies that. But on the pitch, the decision remains painful. Norway had Haaland waiting beside him and the ball never arrived. And somehow that may not even be the worst one, because 4 years earlier, France faced almost the same decision in the final seconds of a World Cup final. Argentina led 2-0 before Kylian Mbappe dragged France back with 2 quick goals. Lionel Messi struck in extra time and Mbappe completed his hat-trick. After 122 minutes, it was 3-3. Then the ball dropped to Randal Kolo Muani. There were only seconds left. Kolo Muani ran through the middle with the World Cup directly in front of him. Emiliano Martinez rushed out. Mbappe arrived to his left. And remember, Mbappe had already scored 3 times. If there was one man in the stadium you wanted receiving the final pass, it was him. Kolo Muani chose the shot. Martinez spread himself, threw out his left leg and made one of the most important saves in football history. Moments later, Argentina won the shootout. Messi lifted the trophy. France went home wondering how close they had come. Now this one is more complicated than it looks. Freeze the image and the pass looks obvious. At full speed, Kolo Muani has almost no time as Martinez charges towards him. Every striker is trained to finish. So, was it truly selfish? Maybe not, but the debate survives because the alternative was Mbappe. A perfect square pass could have given him an open finish for his 4th goal of the final. 4 goals in a World Cup final. The winner in the last seconds. Possibly the greatest individual performance football had ever seen. Instead, Kolo Muani shot, Martinez saved, and Argentina became world champions. Sørloth lost the chance to secure a semi-final. Kolo Muani watched the trophy disappear from one goalkeeper's boot. Then we go back to 2018 when England were finally beginning to believe again. They had survived Colombia on penalties and reached the quarter-finals. Against Sweden, Harry Maguire's header gave them a 1-0 lead just before half-time. England found the chance to make the match safe. Raheem Sterling exploded behind Sweden's defence and ran toward goalkeeper Robin Olsen. Olsen rushed out. Sterling moved around him, but the angle tightened and the defenders started recovering. That was the moment to look up. Harry Kane was arriving centrally. England's captain had already scored 6 goals at the tournament. A cutback could have created a much cleaner chance than the one Sterling now faced. But Sterling kept it. The attack disappeared. Kane reacted. England supporters groaned. Sterling had not scored at the tournament, so some fans accused him of caring more about ending his own drought than finding the safer option. England eventually won 2-0, so the decision became a warning instead of a disaster. But Sweden created chances after the break, forcing Jordan Pickford into major saves. Had Sweden equalised, that missing pass would have become one of the biggest stories of England's tournament. That's how these moments work. Win and people forgive you. Lose and the replay follows you forever. Then we reached 2014, where Ghana came closer than anyone expected to defeating the team that would eventually win the World Cup. Germany entered the tournament as one of the favourites. Ghana had already lost their opening match against the United States, so they badly needed a result. After a goalless first half, the match exploded. Mario Götze put Germany ahead. Andre Ayew equalised 3 minutes later. Then Asamoah Gyan raced through and fired Ghana into a 2-1 lead. Suddenly, the future world champions were in serious trouble. And only 3 minutes after Gyan's goal, Ghana found the chance to finish them. Jordan Ayew exploded down the left side. He cut inside with Germany's defence scrambling backward. In the middle, Gyan was completely open, screaming for the pass. Square the ball, and Ghana's captain has a huge chance to make it 3-1. But Jordan Ayew chose the shot. From a tight angle, he fired directly at Neuer. The goalkeeper saved it. Gyan threw his arms out in anger, unable to understand why the pass had never come. 5 minutes later, Germany equalised through Miroslav Klose. The match finished 2-2. Ghana became the only team that Germany failed to beat during the entire tournament, but that was little comfort. They entered their final group match needing a difficult combination of results, lost to Portugal and went home. Had Ayew passed to Gyan, Ghana might have beaten the eventual world champions and completely changed Group G. And finally, we return to South Africa in 2010, where Spain nearly turned their greatest night into a national nightmare. Spain led Germany 1-0 through Carlos Puyol's header. Germany pushed forward, leaving the space Spain needed to end it. In the 82nd minute, that chance arrived. Pedro broke forward with Fernando Torres racing beside him. Torres was completely open. One pass would have sent him through with only Manuel Neuer to beat. Spain could have scored the second goal, killed the match and reached their first World Cup final without any more panic. Pedro looked toward him, then he kept the ball. He tried to beat the final defender himself, took too many touches and lost possession. Torres stopped in disbelief. Spain's bench reacted immediately. Pedro knew exactly what he had done. This one has a different ending because Spain survived. Germany did not equalise, and Spain reached the final, beat the Netherlands and became the world champions. Victory softened Pedro's mistake, but it did not erase it. The only reason the moment is remembered with laughter instead of rage is that Germany failed to punish Spain. Imagine they had scored after that turnover. Pedro would not be remembered as the young winner who helped Spain win their first World Cup. He would be remembered as the man who ignored Torres and threw away the final. That is the fine line separating confidence from selfishness. Sometimes a player shoots because he believes he can score. Sometimes he waits too long. Sometimes he wants to become the hero. And sometimes the team pays for it. Pedro escaped. Sterling escaped. Kolo Muani did not. Sourloff did not either. Kolo Muani came within one save of immortality. So, which decision was the worst? Was it Sourloff ignoring Haaland with Norway's greatest run on the line? Kolo Muani shooting with Mbappe waiting in a World Cup final? Or Pedro nearly turning Spain's greatest tournament into a national nightmare? Tell me in the comments, and be honest. With the World Cup on the line, do you make the pass? Or do you try to become the hero? We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.